We got one more installation in the muscle up tutorial progression. This week what we're going into is a bit of a hypertrophy or overload principle using what's called, what I guess I'm nicknaming, the ring row to sternum into a transition. So what we're doing is using the rings again, building strength through more range of motion now, pulling those rings to your lower sternum, just like we have been in the past couple of weeks working on some of those transition drills. However, now much more weight bearing using our upper body, and at the end we'll go into that transition with our shoulders going through the reins into that vertical position, the bottom support position, the dip. So what you're going to do is, using these rings, you can have them basically set up at a ring row height, establishing that false grip first, so wrist is in contact with 6 o'clock, folding the palms over, giving yourself nuts. Feet can be just under the pull-up bar to start. Just like a ring row, you can scale this drill by moving your feet forward or back. If you move them forward, it's going to be more difficult. If you move them back, it'll be a little easier. So you have your false grip set up. You're going to lean back in that bottom position of the ring row. And what you're going to do is 2 ring rows to your sternum. Get a little pause at the top of each one. So 2 ring rows to the sternum, and then on the third one, you'll pull the same way through and transition into the bottom of a ring muscle or a ring dip for that muscle up. And you can jump from there, jump or press to support. So some things that we want to focus on when we're performing this drill. First, the ring row, keeping that hook grip locked in. You've got to actively curl those wrists over and keep that palm on top. Don't let yourself get too loose and let those wrists become neutral again. So maintaining that false grip position with the wrist and the palm. And when you're rowing, it's not just like a regular ring row. You're pulling to the low part of your chest and close together. If you can touch your knuckles together and to your chest each time, that's fantastic. That's the goal there. Then when we go into our transition, what we want to think of doing, again, we've said this before, is tracing your pec line. So as you pull to your chest, you're going to trace those pecs, and your shoulders are going to move forward. In between the rings, the hips will move back. Because your feet are on the ground, what you're going to do is actually pull your feet off the ground as you transition through that muscle up, or through that transition. So just one more time going through that. You can shoot the feet a little more. So we're doing 2 ring rows to the sternum, and on the third rep, transition, and you can always press out to finish. All right, so that would be considered 1 rep going through that whole complex, and 3 reps for each complex. And so what you want to do is be able to do 10 reps in a row, which is a lot of ring rows and transitions, but definitely going to build your strength through that very muscle up specific range of motion. So that's what we'll be practicing this week. Thanks.